Yes, people, what's going on? So, Manchester United failed to win in Europe yet again. It has been a year, yes, a year, well, over a year now, since Manchester United last won in Europe. Another record that Ten Hag doesn't want to have. And he's breaking loads of those records too, as we'll look at in this video. But Manchester United's performance against Fenerbahce, not much to write home about. Yes, we took a very good lead. The goal, pretty good. Ugarte looked good. Xerxes lays it off. Christian Eriksen scores another goal for this season. But outside of that, Manchester United were poor, didn't create enough, didn't score enough to win the game. And as a result, we let them back into the game. And it could have gone either way in the end. And look, Porto, Fenerbahce, you look at that and you go, you know, we've not lost either game. We've got points in both games. That's not bad. It's not bad. But the grand scheme of things is, and the bigger picture, we can't hold on to a lead. The changes are very rarely getting us to a point where we're going to win the game. And yet again, we just don't win in Europe. And the teams that we've played, bar Bayern Munich, and I don't say this disrespectfully, but we should be beating. We should be getting points out of. We should be progressing against. We should be, you know, on more than 3 points out of 3 games in the Europa League. With 21st place. I did say 21 was coming, didn't I? But yeah, we haven't won since the 24th of October 2023 when Harry Maguire scored, Andre Onana saved a penalty, and we beat Copenhagen. That's the last time we won in Europe. Results since then. You know, the last 11 European games for United, a draw against Fenerbahce, a draw against Porto, a draw against Twente. We lost against Bayern Munich. Galatasaray was a 3-3 draw. Copenhagen was a 4-3 defeat. Both of those games we led in. We led in Porto. We led against Fenerbahce. We're leading in all these games and not winning. Then we beat Copenhagen before that, like I said, a year ago. But prior to that, a 3-2 defeat against Galatasaray, a 4-3 defeat against Bayern Munich, and a 3-0 defeat against Sevilla. Simply not good enough. And like I said about those records, for the first time since 1980 to 1983, Manchester United have failed to win in their last 6 European games. Another record Manchester United don't want to have. Our last European away was against Betis. That's too long ago. It's crazy. And the manager's come out and said a point in Porto, a point in Fenerbahce, that's not bad. But of course we want to win. We want to win every game. Then some of the things you're doing are baffling me. Why are we playing Mazraoui in the number 10? A lot of our goals come from Diogo Dalot and Marcus Rashford down that left-hand side. We switch them over to the right. Like, there's so many baffling decisions that are made. Amad Diallo. Why is Anthony coming on before him? And why isn't Amad Diallo used earlier? Now, he had an injury, I think, during international duty, and he came back and all that kind of stuff. But as far as we know, he's been training. And he's fit enough to be on the bench. Play him over Anthony. Why are we still persisting with this Anthony thing? I don't get it. And I'm not trying to dig out one player. Because look, it's not Anthony's fault. He's clearly one of the worst signings ever. But it's not Anthony's fault that we're in this position. But I'm just alluding to some of the decisions that we're seeing the manager make. And it's getting frustrating to see. Every single time we hamper ourselves. And we've got some good players. You know, I don't want to hear, like, Lisandro Martinez has been performing badly this season. But I think the way we set up at times doesn't really help him. Because he's got Diogo Dalot, who's playing next to him, who we tell to go into midfield. And then he's got these big old gaps that he has to fill. And he has to cover everything. And then once you create those big gaps, how many times do we see our defenders running with their, just facing their own goal, running towards it? That's not good enough. Our next 5 fixtures: West Ham away, Leicester at home in the Cup, Chelsea at home in the league, PAOK or PAOK or however you say that, sorry, in the Europa League at home after that, and then we got Leicester in the league. On paper, again, you go, we should be progressing in the League Cup. We should be beating them PAOK in the Europa League game, And those 3 league games, especially when you consider West Ham's form, Leicester's form, Man United should be beating those teams. And Chelsea. I know Chelsea are playing well this season. But we should be looking for maximum points. And yet again, it will probably be close to minimum. And it's a real crucial time for the manager. But beyond just winning games, we have to see more. And that's why I said all that to say we have to see more beyond just winning games. We have to see some form of progression with this team. We have to see us moving forward. And it doesn't make sense, especially when you're making head-scratching decisions. Laurie Whitwell reported that some in the Fenerbahce hierarchy were stunned that Amad Diallo had not come on sooner yesterday, and they feared the worst when his first touch from an excellent crossfield pass by Mazraoui took him beyond Mulder. If that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. Man United fans were thinking it too. Why is Mazraoui in the number 10 position? You could even play one of your defenders in the defensive midfield position, play Christian Eriksen in the number 10 position, a position he's played most of his life. And the manager said after, we are doing very well, that you are going into a winning position. Our tactics are right. But then, of course, then the team should learn game management. We have young players, but mistakes like today should not happen on our level. Game management of the players, youngsters. I know we do have a few youngsters that we play in the team. Alejandro Garnacho is one of them. Kobe Mainoo wasn't available. You look at the team that played, there weren't many youngsters out there. Anana, Delo, Licha, Delit, Mazraoui, Ugarte. You're looking at, there's not many youngsters out there. Rashford. So, has to come down to your changes in the tactics that we're employing in these games. And you see Mourinho talking about the way we were playing and all those kind of things. Obviously, managers have an insight into games and they study teams and all these kind of... But he was just pointing out the little things that we're doing, and we're far too predictable. We're far too predictable. We've got some very good players, and we need to start seeing something else from them. And it's... Can't keep going, we ain't got a left back, we've got a good bunch of players there. And the football should be a lot better. And we're making strange decisions that you normally see a manager make when it comes to the end. And I don't want it to be the case. I want Ten Hag to turn it around. I want to see some good football. I want to see some results. I want to see this 2.5 years actually mean something. But you just feel like it's slipping through his fingers at the moment. Which is a shame. Because you want to show us something. I think he's a great coach, and I think he'll probably leave United and go on to do good things elsewhere, but show us what you got. If this is it, I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I've had a little bit of a rant this one, or just babbled on. There wasn't really much structure to it, but those are my thoughts after Manchester United went 12 months without a win in Europe. Anyway, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.